As you can see, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is carrying on his first day in Poland, his bilateral visit there, and of course he's there at a very interesting memorial site. It's a memorial for the Jam Saheb of Nawanagar. It's a memorial for rather interesting characters in India's diplomatic history. We don't talk about too much. Digvijay Singh ji, Ranjit Singh ji. You might know him for his association with the of course the erstwhile Maharaja of Nawanagar, who was also the founder of after whom the Ranji Trophy is named, Maharaja Ranjit Singh ji. So this gentleman in question, for whom this memorial is named, is Jam Saheb Digvijay Singh ji, Ranjit Singh ji. And the important thing about him is that the reason why a country so far away is remembering him, and the reason why the Prime Minister of India is there at this memorial, is because during the Second World War, it was this ruler of Nawanagar, which was a princely state in Gujarat, which is in modern day Gujarat, which was home to thousands of Polish children who were evacuated from the Soviet Union during the Second World War. This, starting in 1941, thousands of children found it extremely difficult to survive in the Soviet Union. They were evacuated. They had to suffer terrible deprivations and terrible malnutrition and much mistreatment. They barely escaped their lives, and then they were brought to India. They were brought to Nawanagar, and the Jam Saheb of Nawanagar, Digvijay Singh ji, Ranjit Singh ji, who was also a cricketer. He set them up, created a home for thousands of them, and by the end of the war in 1945, it's estimated that almost 5,000 Polish children were in Nawanagar. They were given a home there, and to honor that kindness and that compassion, in 2016, this memorial was set up by the Polish government, and now the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, is there to pay his respects at this memorial, to lay a wreath. This has been talked about for a while. Frankly, I covered the beat, and I could tell you that even I had no clue that this was something that was such an interesting connect between India and Poland. But the interesting thing, of course, is the gentleman in question. I'm going to say it again: Digvijay Singh ji, Ranjit Singh ji, was from the illustrious royal family of Nawanagar. He was someone who was himself a first-class cricketer, the nephew of the man, of course, that we all know so well, Maharaja Ranjit Singh ji, who was after whom the Ranji Trophy is named. Someone who was a cricketer, played for England as well, one of the first well-known Indians to play cricket on the world stage. So this gentleman was the nephew of the great Ranjit Singh ji, and of course taking the throne in the early 20th century. He, of course, provided a school and land and a home for many Polish children who were orphans and refugees. He set up a children's camp, in fact, in Jamnagar, Balchadi, for these students. So there was a kindergarten, there were schools, there were hospitals, there was a library, and he was very personally, deeply involved in making sure that these activities ran well. And of course, this has become now a living connect between India and Poland. In fact, we also had someone on the ground, Gaurav Sawant, a very senior colleague of ours, of course, at India Today, who also visited this memorial where the Prime Minister is now. And I think that it's one of those examples of the people-to-people to connect, and the history that India sometimes shares with countries from around the world. Not something we hear about very much, especially in Central and Eastern Europe, which is a part of the continent of Europe that India has somewhat strategically neglected in recent years. Of course, now with the Prime Minister's visit to Poland and Ukraine, the hope is that will change. And of course, what you can see in front of you now are visuals of the Prime Minister laying that wreath, staying at the memorial, and of course honoring the memory of this royal who, of course, who is remembered now for his humanitarian efforts during World War II, for providing refuge to Polish children. In fact, there are accounts online. We can actually leave the links to those accounts for you in the description of our video. In fact, you can go read them, of Polish children who, of course, now in their 70s and their 80s, who were taken care of and spent many years in India as children fleeing from the Second World War, and they're very fond memories of their time in India. But it's an intriguing story, it's an interesting story, a story that we haven't covered, that many Indians do not know about. But now, with the benefit of the Prime Minister's visit, we have the ability to cover the story and tell you more about it. Of course, we'll keep these visuals going for you on our channel, but we just thought that you might appreciate a little bit of background, a little bit of explanation about why the Prime Minister is going to this memorial, why this memorial exists in the first place, set up in 2018, and what it says about the history that India often enjoys with parts